Good morning, everyone. Myself, Ashu Sharma, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, RA Institute of Engineering Technology and Management. Today, we will see a topic from unit number 2, PaaS, Platform as a Service and Cloud Service Provider. So let's we start with our topic that PaaS for Java. So let's we start with Java that advantages having this platform as a service. Uh, these are some of those vendors is that Amazon Elastic Beanstalk, CloudBees, Cloud Foundry, Google App Engine, Heroku for Java, and Red Hat OpenShift. Those generally use Java as a technology, as a language in platform as a service. So here is some of these that list that Tomcat is used in Amazon Beanstalk and CloudBees and Cloud Foundry. Google App Engine use that, Heroku and OpenShift like Java SC Standard Edition, Enterprise Edition, support standard. So this is the list for that platform as a service when we compare the different vendors using different architectures and framework and servers in their utilities. So when we talk about the Google App Engine, which is a big concern, that definition, as per the Wikipedia, is it is a platform for hosting web application in Google managed data centers. So it is a platform. You can say it's a platform for hosting web applications in Google managed data centers. It is cloud computing technology which virtualizes applications across multiple servers and data centers. So it is very much there for the deployment of web applications along with execution of those. Google App Engine is running that your web application in Google infrastructure and support different runtime environments, as we saw in previous slide that most of these vendors using Java. So Java JRE runtime environment is 6 with limitations. And along with that, it's Servlet 2.5, which is on towards the server side, and JDO and JPA. Along with this different environment of Python as well. So application runs in sandbox and automatic scaling and load balancing, which is very, very crucial aspects of cloud computing, and no server restarts. So downtime is nothing, and no network issues, bandwidth issues are not there. So it's a limited issue over there. Now, GAE, that is Google App Engine Architecture, if we just see this architecture, that this is the request that taking from that end user, because obviously customers are very, very important for any vendor and any framework to deploy. And this is the front ends, and there are certain application servers and application masters nodes are there, and static file servers are there. Now, bidirectionally associated with data storage, that is the storage devices, and this is the memory cache, which is very, very important in between the that you can say processor and main memory. That becomes very, very important factor, that memory cache. This is the URL fetch, mail, images, XML, XMPP, and task queue. So this is a brief architecture, you can say. When we talk about the Google App Engine, there are multiple application servers are there, along with the connectivity at backend towards the database. And for the processing speed of point of view, there is a cache memory along with some different utilities. So here is the type of cloud services that in general we talk about, that is SaaS, which is software as a service, PaaS, platform as a service, and IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service. Now, when we consider SaaS, software as a service, there are some briefings that it stands for software as a service. It is generally for the on-demand service, which is independent, having platform, and no need to install on PC. So we don't need to install on PC. Resources managed by vendors. So vendor is responsible to manage the resources, who uses it, and the customers uses it. Obviously, any service, any setup is providing for end users, for the customers. Now, what are the pros and cons when we talk about the software as a service? Now, first we see the process: universally accessible from any platform, excellent for collaborative working, vendor provides modest software tools and allows for multi-tenancy. So multiple clients can join this together, and universally accessible. This is very, very important, because anywhere around the globe. If a person is sitting and wants to use services, then he or she able to use those services. It is very important pros. Excellent for collaborative working. So you can say it's a distributed environment that it can work. Vendors provide modest software tools, so it is not that much expensive, and the vendors having those utilities and services for the end customers to provide that, and allows for multi tenancy. So multiple clients can join there and customers can use the services in that distributed environment. Now there are certain concerns also, that portability and browser issues sometimes, compliance restrictions also there, and internet dictates overall performance. So this is one of the cons you can say is take care. The take care of this cons is very very important. Now next is the PaaS, platform as a service, as we know that programming language plus operating system plus server plus database provides encapsulation. So it's a safety and security measures, you can say. Build, compile, and run the programs, and users manage data and application resources. And who uses it? Developers uses it. So if we compare with the SaaS software service, you can say that who uses it, and the customers uses it. But platform as a service, it is vital to execute and deploy and development of applications. So most of the time, developers require that because customers are the consumers. Whole cloud computing concept based on consumers. Nowadays, the trends has changed, that consumers-based concept. So whenever we stuck with the past platform as a service, we said developers are there to develop certain applications and utilities for the consumers. So PaaS is dedicated for the developers, platform as a service. Now there are little bit pros and cons. Scalable. First we see that is scalable is a pros, and cost effective is also by nature. It is faster market for the developers, and easy that deployment of web applications, and private and public that deployment is there. When we talk about the cons, that providers language only, developers limited, migration issues sometimes, you can say the memory migration as well, and vendor lock-in. So lock-in is vendor lock-in is also critical, that cons that associated with this platform as a service. Now the next one is the IaaS, which is infrastructure as a service. Generally, when we consider, it provides that computing architecture and infrastructure, data storage plus virtualization plus servers plus networking. Uh, Vendors manage our resources, user handle data and middleware stuff, and who uses it? System administrator uses it. So there are some pros and cons. Pros are that cloud provides the infrastructure, skeleton you can say, enhanced scalability, elasticity nature, dynamic workloads are supported. So workloads may increase or decrease as per the requirements, and flexibility is also there. There are certain cons also, security issues, service delays, and network delays. These are the cons that is associated with infrastructure as a service. So here we saw that little bit briefing about that. We saw a little bit briefings about that Google App Engine, and then we saw different service architecture layer, like software service, like platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. What are the pros and cons associated with that? And we saw who are going to utilize that concept. But overall, the thing is this: everything is for the consumers. It is consumer-based market. If you have clients of clients, then definitely as a service provider, cloud computing service provider, you have definitely upper edges in comparison with rest of the vendors. So this is all from here. Thank you so much for this session being with us. Thank you.